been making book videos for 10 years now, which means I've grown a rather large physical TBR. Recently, I went through a bookshelf purge and only kept the books that I'm the most excited to read. I am convinced that my next favorite book is waiting for me somewhere on my shelves. I've set myself a challenge to read my entire physical TBR in 1 year. We are starting with 250 books, and by the end, I hope to be down to 0. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. So as you saw, today is the first episode of my new series, TBR Tackle. I recently went through a very big purge on my channel. I posted a series of unhaul videos where I went through my entire book collection and got rid of anything that I no longer felt excited by. So what that has now left me with is a physical TBR filled with books that I am still very excited to read. I have put my entire physical TBR onto this shelf, and my goal is that 1 year from now, I will have read every book on this shelf. Now, is that very ambitious because there's 250 books? Yeah, yes it is. But I am setting myself this challenge. I'm going to try very, very hard because I am so sick of having so many books on my shelves that are just waiting to be read. Part of the reason that this whole series came about was that earlier in the year, I was getting increasingly frustrated with reading new releases that I was very excited about and being disappointed in them. And it led me to looking through my backlist and looking through the books on my shelves, trying to find things that are just sitting there waiting for me that I could potentially love, instead of constantly buying the newest release and being very disappointed by it. I had a series on my channel many years ago that was a little bit similar. It was called TBR Redo, and this is kind of a spin on that. I know a lot of booktubers do concepts somewhat similar to this, and one that I really loved and wanted to mention is Becca from Becca and the Books. She has a series right now called Shelve It or Scrap It, which I have been loving. So I will link her down below if you like videos like this and you haven't watched her series yet. So like I said, we are starting the series with 250 books. I like that it's a very solid number. And for this first episode, I'm going to be reading books that I had saved in my unhaul series. So throughout my unhaul series, I had pulled off books that I potentially thought about getting rid of, and then for some reason or another, I was convinced or decided to hold on to them. So in this episode, I'm gonna be reading some of those books that had been saved at the last second from being unhauled, and hopefully I am able to find some favorites among those. So I have pulled off 4 books that I saved from my unhaul videos. These were all ones that I contemplated getting rid of, but I decided to save them. First up, we have The Prey of Gods by Nikki Drayden. This is a sci-fi book. We have Twice Shy by Sarah Hogle, which is a cozy romance. So Happy for You by Celia Lasky, which is about complicated female friendship. And then Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, which is a YA fantasy. All 4 of these books are ones that I have owned for a very, very long time. So I'm very excited to finally read all of these and hopefully prove my theory that my next favorite book is somewhere on my shelves. In every single episode, I'm going to be spinning my sequels wheel. On here, I have all of these series that I'm currently in the middle of and the next book that I have to read. So we are going to spin this and see what sequel I will be reading. Oh my god, okay, I got Leather and Lark. That is actually so exciting. This is actually like the most recent book that I have purchased, so that is perfect, especially because one of my goals this year is to not purchase a lot of books. If I do purchase them, I want them to be books that I'm gonna read like right then and there versus like buying books that are just gonna continue to sit on my shelves for months or years. So this is very perfect. This is the sequel to Butcher and Blackbird, and I actually will be reading this in an extended version of this vlog on Patreon. I think every episode I'm also going to have my patrons vote on one book they want me to read exclusively for Patreon. I'm very excited to read this. This is a series of rom-coms about killers, and I'm very excited because I love the first book. It was so fun. So if you want to see my thoughts on this book and kind of just like a second vlog, you can join my Patreon and check it out. So today I'm gonna be starting So Happy for You by Celia Lasky. Also, it's a very beautiful day outside, so I thought I would sit out here and read a bit. I feel like this is gonna be a good summer book. I'm just getting that vibe from it. So this one says it's about a wedding weekend that spirals out of control. 2 girls who've been best friends since childhood. One of them is queer, and she is now the maid of honor. But it says, as the wedding approaches, a series of ominous occurrences lead her to second guess her decision. It seems that everyone in the bridal party is out to get her. It sounds like it's just gonna be about like very messy female friendship, the crazy wedding industry. It sounds fun, so I'm excited to read it. Let me show you guys my view right now. It is so beautiful outside. So I'm just gonna sit outside and read for a bit until I get very hot. I ordered a mystery box of earrings on Etsy from the seller who had the cutest stuff. All right, first pair. Ooh! Oh my god, cute! These say bite me. They're little hearts. They're all kind of like kitschy designs. That's what I liked about her. These are, they're little chocolate bunnies. Little chocolate bunnies with bows on them. Next, ooh, a little teapot and a teacup. Yeah. You have a teapot that looks like that. Yeah. Next are these little flowers. Cute. Those will be cute for summer. And then lastly, yes, Scream Ghost Face. She had a lot of like Halloween ones. Oh my god, these are so cute. Yay! I'm excited. I was a little nervous about like a mystery bag because it's like you could get all ones that you don't like. But her earrings are regularly $30 and then this was $50. So I was like, well, let me try it. I like them. I'm excited. They're all so cute. I think my favorite ones, Ghostface and Bite Me. These, I think it's like supposed to be like a lollipop, like a heart lollipop. The shop is called Cosmic Lovely on Etsy. I'm gonna try on the earrings, or at least one pair. Oh my god, where's the hole? That's what she said. Where is it? Where is the, okay, got it. There we go. Cute! I think it's a lollipop. That is very cute. I'm gonna be honest, as I was showing all of these to my mom, don't know that she liked them. Don't know that she was a fan, based on her lack of commenting about any of them. Oh my god, these go with my outfit today. I might just wear these for the rest of the day. Cute! Love these. Normally wouldn't have gotten these because I'm not a big neon person. They're a little bright, but I kind of love them. I kind of love them. And they look really cute with my outfit today because I'm giving like summer flowers. No. I hated this. Oh my god. This is a horrible book. Listen, I love unlikable characters. I think there's a difference between unlikable and insufferable. And these characters are insufferable to the point where reading about them is torture. It was torture. I hated every second of it, honestly, from like the beginning. I never liked it. And honestly, good job to both of these main characters, these two best friends, because they really gave each other a run for their money on which one of them was worse. They both are just terrible people. They're horrible. And I wished only bad things for them. And I get it, like I think that's kind of the point, is that like they're kind of equals in how horrible they are, but like that's not enjoyable for me to read. When I read like unlikable characters, I want an unlikable character that I can root for, that like I understand, that like maybe they do bad things, but like deep down, they're a good person. Or the alternative is that, yeah, they're a terrible person, but they accept that and admit it and own up to it. These two characters were so delusional. They were terrible people, but then they each thought that they were in the right. Like at least if you're gonna suck as a human being, own up to it. Own that shit. But yeah, I hated them. Also, there was this one scene that I was like, ew. They're talking about how close they were in college. It felt like we were in high school again, merging back into the same body. We started showering together because the hot water always ran out. Comparing our vulvas to make sure we didn't have STDs. It reached the point where we couldn't even remember whose underwear was whose. Like, I'm sorry, what? I don't know about y'all. I have never inspected my friends' vulvas. I don't know. I think I want to give this 1 star. 1 star. Yeah, I really hated it. I did not like it. And I'm very disappointed because I had high hopes. I thought it would be a good time. If you want to read about two insufferable white women trying to outdo each other with prejudices and microaggressions and ignorance, then this is perfect for you. If not, I actually didn't mean to throw it that far. It was this close to hitting my mirror. Oops. You guys, I read an entire book without giving you a single update. I read Twice Shy. I started it a couple hours ago and then I just now finished. I read this in one sitting, which I wasn't planning on doing, but I loved it. I love this so much. It's 5 stars. The way I was not expecting to love it as much as I did. I don't know if it was a combination of it just had all of the tropes that I love in romance, or if it's just exactly what I needed today in this moment. I've kind of been feeling like not great and I needed to pick me up, and this did exactly that. I just loved it. I had an amazing time. I've been saying all year that what I'm looking for in romance right now and what I'm wanting in romance is like cute, cozy, comforting romances. And this was definitely that. It was so cozy, so cute. And it very weirdly has all of the micro tropes that I love in romances. It hit on everything. Basically, what this is about a girl who has recently discovered that she's been catfished. One of her girlfriends had been catfishing her as this guy, as like a prank. And for like 6 months, she thought she was dating this really great guy, and then finds out it was her friend and is like devastated, obviously. Her great aunt passes away and she finds out that she's been left this very gorgeous estate house, but she has to share it with this guy who the aunt also left it to. Well, when she goes to meet the guy, it turns out it is the guy whose pictures her friend was using to catfish her. So for the past 6 months, she's thought she was dating a guy who looked exactly like this, and she is like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Well, the guy is so grumpy and aloof and wants nothing to do with her. So they agree to work on it together. They're going to renovate the house and turn it into like a little B&B hotel situation. It was just so cute. Like I said, it has all of like the micro tropes that I really love. Home renovation. They would communicate through notes, because he like never wanted to be around her, so she would like leave him notes everywhere. He was very much giving grumpy, she was giving sunshine. But when I tell you, he is my favorite romance hero that I think I've ever read. I loved him so much. He's giving grumpy grouch on the outside, softest cinnamon roll on the inside. My favorite scene, my favorite scene. Since they can't stay in the main house because they're like renovating it, there's the like groundskeeper house where he lives. She needed a bedroom, so he's like, okay, I guess you can have the downstairs bedroom and I'll sleep upstairs. So she takes the downstairs bedroom, and so the whole time he's sleeping upstairs, she's in the downstairs bedroom. Halfway through the book, she finally goes upstairs and realizes there's no bedroom up there. And the entire time he's been sleeping in this tiny closet so that she could have the only bedroom. He gave up his bedroom and slept in a closet for weeks. I died and was resurrected. Other romance heroes, they can't even compare. If he wanted to, he would. I loved it. I also loved the social anxiety rep in here because the hero has a lot of anxiety when it comes to interacting with other people, and that was just like a big part of his characterization, and I really loved that. It was just so cute and perfect, and I loved it, and I'm giving it 5 stars, and I honestly want to reread it. I want to go back and start it over and read it again. That is how much I loved it. The only thing that at first I found cringy, but by the end I had warmed up to it, is that she's a big daydreamer, and so a lot of times she would like escape into this daydream that was this like alternate universe version of her life where she owns a cafe. And so sometimes she would just like escape in her mind to that AU world. And at first it was cringy and I didn't really understand that part or like it, but by the end I enjoyed it because it like actually played a part in what happened towards the end of the book, and I liked that. So I liked where that storyline went to. It was just a little cringy at the beginning, but obviously not enough for me to not be giving this book 5 stars. I love it. I'm obsessed. Amazing. Amazing. And I'm actually offended at my past self for almost getting rid of this. The fact that I was so close to unhauling this, I'm offended. I'm offended for myself. How dare I? And this is already proving my theory of why I'm even doing this video series and why this is a good idea. This is my favorite romance that I've read this year, and it's just been sitting on my shelf for like 4 years, and I've never even paid attention to it. I almost got rid of it. Oh, I'm definitely gonna have to look up this author and see what else she's written, because this was the first thing that I read from her before, but now I want to read everything else that she's written. So this was the best success that I've had so far, and if I hate every other book in this video, I don't even care because it was worth it just to read this one. So I meant to come in here and update you guys on The Prey of Gods. I ended up reading the whole book. This book is insane. I really loved it. I'm giving it 4 stars. The amount of things that happen in this book, I actually don't know if I could sum them up. It's actually wild how much happened in this book. If you are a plot person where you just love so many things happening in the plot, this is perfect for you. This is a sci-fi fantasy blend. I would say it's more sci-fi leaning, but there's like a fantasy element to it also that takes place in a futuristic South Africa. Oh my God, how do I even sum this up? Basically what's happening in this world is that 2 really big things are happening at the same time. On the one end, everyone has these like personal AI little robots that are slowly becoming sentient. And then over here, you have these gods and goddesses who had gone extinct, but now there is a goddess who is coming into her powers. So you have these 2 kind of opposing uprisings, one with AI, another with the gods. And then on top of that, there is a new drug that has been introduced into the society that is causing a lot of issues, that is very strange. Then it was following so many different points of views. I think there's like 8 or 9. At first, it was kind of hard for me to get into it because like the first part of the book, the first like 100 pages, you really only get 1 chapter from each of the characters. So it was kind of hard for me to keep everything straight and like get super invested in any of them. But once I hit the halfway point, I really was into it, especially once all of the storylines started coming together. It's following such like an eclectic group of characters. You have this one character who by day is a politician and by night is a drag queen superstar. There's 2 different characters who are goddesses. You have this guy who is just realizing that he is in love with his best friend. One of the characters is a pop star. And one of my favorite things was as the book is going on, the perspectives start kind of like crossing each other. I think I really like books that kind of start off with all of these different storylines and then you just like see them slowly come together. I think the payoff is really great and the payoff in this book was so good. And I actually liked all of the perspectives. Normally when there's that many perspectives, there's like a few that I'm not that interested in, but I actually really liked all of them. And I think it helped that all of the chapters were very short and so many things were just like happening. Like every chapter was short and then it would end on a cliffhanger. You were constantly like excited to see what was gonna happen in the next perspective based on the cliffhanger that perspective left you on before. So it was just like constantly moving and I never felt like the pacing was off. It felt very fast paced and I had a great time. I feel like this would make a really interesting TV show. My favorite character was one of the AI characters because one of the perspectives is the AI. I think if you like books like the Murderbot Diaries, I'm trying to think of other things that this like reminds me of. I don't know, it's very unique. I feel like maybe the Murderbot Diaries is like the closest thing that I would compare it to, just with like the sentient AI vibe. And it was intense, but there was also a lot of humor in it as well, which I feel like the Murderbot Diaries also has. Yeah, I'm very excited that I finally read this. I've had it for so long and it's always been something that's super intrigued me, but I've never heard anybody talk about, so it wasn't like super high up on my radar, but I just had a feeling that it would be really fun and that I would enjoy it. This was definitely a success and I'm glad that I held on to it. The next book I'm reading is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, which is a book that I've had for so long. I got this when it first came out. I got the audiobook checked out on Libby. On Libby, it tells me how many times I've checked out a book. You can see here, I have pretty much checked out this book once or twice a year since it came out. I had it checked out January 2018, then again February 2018, then again March 2018. I think 2018 I was really optimistic that I was gonna read it. Then I checked it out again December 2021, then again December 2022, then now finally June 2024 I am reading it. It only took me 6 years. What this book is about, from what I know, we're following this guy named Laszlo Strange, who is an orphan and he's been raised in this library where he's a librarian. And when he was a kid, he always heard stories about this like magical city that he became obsessed with called Weep. And he's been scouring for proof that this city actually exists. He really believes in it. And then one day these people from Weep come and say that they need help in their city, and Laszlo joins them because this is finally his opportunity to go to this place that he's been obsessed with. That's what I know about it. My very basic knowledge from having heard about this book for like 7 years. So we're gonna see how it goes. I'm very excited to finally be reading it. I am like halfway into Strange the Dreamer now. I am really enjoying it, like so much more than I think I thought I would. It's not feeling like a 5-star book at the moment, but it's one of those things where like I can tell that when this came out, it was so unique and different from all of the other like YA books out there. It really doesn't even read like YA to me, and I feel like if it were to come out today, it would be adult. The writing is just so beautiful. It's lyrical without being like overdone. I think the balance between having beautiful prose but then also like making sense and being clear is really great. And I feel like if I had read it when it came out, I probably would love it a lot more, because now I feel like I've read a bunch of things that not necessarily are similar, but are doing similar things or written in similar styles, to where this doesn't feel as unique as it probably was when it came out. I did realize though that I don't think I had read a lot of young adult books with a male main character. I'm trying to think of another one, and I don't think I read that many. But I really like Laszlo. I like both Laszlo and Sarai, but I do find Laszlo to be like very interesting. I don't know that I've quite figured him out yet, but I'm very interested. And then I really do love Sarai, but that's kind of more of a given. The part that I'm at right now, they've only just started interacting, and it has a trope that I love where two characters only communicate through their mind. In this case, it's in dreams, because Sarai's power is that she's the muse of nightmares, so she can go into people's dreams and give them nightmares. And so she goes into Laszlo's dreams and realizes he's the only person who can actually see her in his dreams and like is aware that she's there and can communicate with her. So they start meeting in his dreams. That's where I'm at right now. They've just started like interacting. I finished Strange the Dreamer and I really enjoyed this. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. Yeah, 4 stars. Also, I tried to wear all of my butterfly things. I have my little butterfly earrings and my butterfly cardigan. Technically, not butterflies in here, they're moths, but close enough. Everything I already said still rings true. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed the writing style. I thought the world building was great. I really liked the characters. And I do feel like this is something that if I had read it when it came out in 2017, so like 7 years ago, I think it would have been 5 stars. There's a couple things I think that kept me from giving it 5 stars. The main one just being that I don't know that I ever felt like a super strong emotional connection, even when like very intense emotional things happened in the book. I don't know, I never felt that like an intense reaction to anything. I just thought it was good. And it's one of those things where like I can see why this is some people's favorite book. I can see why some people like love it and are obsessed with it. I just don't think that I have that strong attachment. One of the things that it actually reminded me of was The 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. Plot-wise, they're both very different, but like the world building was similar, not in a bad way. I just think that I kept thinking about this book while I was reading it. This one is also about like a city in the sky where there's gods, but the gods have been like conquered by the humans. They both even have a god character that's stuck in like a child form. So I just think I was picturing the worlds to be very similar, and I love this book. The thing that I loved though about this book that like I just was eating up was the romance. I loved Sarai and Laszlo's relationship, especially since they were primarily communicating through dreams. I just really loved that. Some of the things that he said about her were so romantic. There was this one moment where he was like, I think after they kissed or something, he said something along the lines of like, this is the moment that I turned into a we. And I was like, ah. I do think I'm gonna continue and read the second book. I don't feel like a strong urge to read it right away. I also don't own it, so I will have to get it from the library when I do eventually read it. But I'm very curious because I did Googling, and it turns out Laini Taylor has not written anything since this duology. And I'm like, what is going on? Where did she go? What is she doing? Because I really want her to write an adult fantasy. I would read that in a heartbeat. Where is she? Where's Laini Taylor? Do you guys know? What happened? All right, I've now finished the 4 books for this first episode, plus the book that I read for Patreon, which brings me up to 5 books read. And all of the books that I'm gonna be reading from my TBR shelves, I will be adding to this top shelf up here so we can see as I go how many books I have read. So at the beginning of this video, we started with 250 books on my TBR, and now we are down to 245. We're making our way through, and I had so much fun reading all of these books and making this first episode, so I hope you guys enjoyed it and are as excited about this series as I am. If you made it to the end of this video, you can leave a butterfly emoji for Strange the Dreamer, or a moth emoji. Is there a moth emoji? If there is a moth emoji, leave that. If not, give me a little butterfly. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe, and check out my Patreon where I post tons of exclusive content. And if you want an extended version of this vlog where I read Leather and Lark, you can find that on my Patreon right now. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!